Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're diving headfirst into, well, a rather unconventional career strategy.
Hmm.
You, our astute listener, flagged a document for us, and
Oh.
honestly, it's quite something. A wild ride, you might say.
Hmm.
We're talking about the art, or maybe the audacity, of simulating career progression at a company that, well, that doesn't exist anymore.
Indeed. And the document, it seems to be this tongue-in-cheek guide, how to fake a promotion at a company that no longer exists. They call it the Phantom Title Grift.
Right. The Phantom Title Grift, it lays out all these steps and tactics.
And what's fascinating, I think, is digging into the assumptions behind it. The vulnerabilities these strategies try to exploit.
Exactly. So our mission here is to pull out the core ideas, the why behind these, uh, frankly, pretty outlandish suggestions.
Yeah, understand the thinking.
And for you, the learner, always looking for those insightful nuggets, we're going to focus on the, let's say, clever logic here, maybe sometimes ridiculous logic, without getting bogged down.
Sort of understand the playbook, even if you'd never run the plays yourself.
Precisely. So where does this phantom promotion journey even begin, according to the guide?
Well, it starts with what they call the startup that mysteriously disappeared loophole. Step one is picking a name. Obscure but plausible.
Like what? Give me an example.
Oh, something generic like Nexus Synergy Labs or something. The key is it shouldn't ring any bells immediately. Makes it harder to disprove.
Okay, yeah. It's vaguely techy, but totally forgettable. And then what?
Then you claim it quietly dissolved post Series B.
Ah, so late enough to sound like it had some traction.
Exactly. Some success maybe, but early enough that, maybe not too many people were watching closely.
Right, and they have a pro tip too, don't they? Something about AngelList.
Yeah, find a defunct AngelList page. Use it as proof. Flimsy proof maybe, but something.
For anyone not familiar, AngelList is like a platform for startups, investors.
Right. And the thinking is most people won't actually go digging through old startup databases. It banks on that surface level check.
Okay, makes sense. Then it moves into the no paper trail defense.
That's it. This is where you claim the company used things like Signal for all communications. Ephemeral stuff.
And frame it as an ethical choice, like for privacy.
Precisely. Untraceable communication. This is a neat deflection, isn't it? Hard to argue against privacy.
Yeah, pretty clever. And the HR platform.
Get this. A shared Google Sheet.
No.
Yes. Which was, of course, accidentally deleted.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah.
The perfect disappearing ink for HR records. Wow.
It creates this situation where if anyone asks for documents, you have a plausible, though totally unverifiable excuse.
Okay, so plausible deniability is key.
Yeah.
What's the final step in making the startup vanish?
That's the acquihire Hail Mary. The claim is, a big tech giant bought us for the talent.
Ah, I see where this is going.
Then shut it down. Sorry, NDA.
The NDA, the ultimate conversation killer, like a magic wand. Poof, can't talk about it.
It's the shield, right? Stops further questions.
And it seems like this kind of creative storytelling
Yeah.
can actually work sometimes. We got that listener submission.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Someone apparently photoshopped a Forbes 30 under 30 logo onto their LinkedIn profile,
Seriously.
and recruiters started calling them rockstar talent.
Wow. That really says something, doesn't it, about how we judge credibility. Visual cues, logos.
We rely on these shortcuts, yeah, even if they're easily faked. It's that trust in authority, I guess, or perceived authority.
It really is. Okay, so let's shift gears. How do you inflate your title in this vanished company? The guide has this title, Inflation Algorithm.
Right, going from intern to VP and what, 4 easy lies? Sounds like a masterclass, tactic 1.
The reorg rewrite. The story is, my role expanded during the downsizing.
So I was the last one holding the keys.
Right.
Painting yourself as indispensable during the chaos.
Exactly. It taps into that common startup narrative, right? Constant change, shifting roles. If you're the survivor, you can kind of retroactively claim a bigger role.
Makes sense. What's tactic 2?
The consulting glow up. This is where maybe you freelanced for them for like 3 months, and you reframe that as being the interim chief strategy officer.
Wow. Talk about making the most of a short gig. It's all in the framing. Turning temporary into leadership.
Mm.
Okay, tactic 3.
The buzzword bump. This one's fun. You show this progression using trendy terms.
Like,
Like going from social media manager maybe to digital engagement czar, all the way up to metaverse community architect.
oh my goodness. Metaverse community architect.
It highlights how, jargon evolves. You can use these buzzwords to sound cutting edge, even if the actual work is vague.
Very vague. And there's another pro tip for titles, right? Something about being too senior.
Yes, just add advisory to any title, like
Yeah.
Advisory VP of AI.
The implication is
The guide says it implies you're too senior to show up on payroll.
that is audacious, just brilliant in its audacity, suggesting you transcend mere employment details. Okay, so you have the phantom company, the inflated title, but you need proof
Yeah.
without committing felonies, as the guide says.
Right. This part's about creating believable but ultimately hollow evidence. First is the GitHub graveyard.
GitHub, the code sharing platform. So what do you do there?
You upload empty repositories, just folders, basically, but give them really impressive, vague titles.
Like,
Project Phoenix, Next Gen Disruption, something like that.
it's like putting fancy book spines on your shelf.
Yeah.
The appearance of work with zero substance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else? Fake testimonials.
Exactly. The fake testimonial. Create a quote supposedly from my CEO.
Your fake CEO.
Your fake CEO, yeah. Using ChatGPT maybe to generate something plausible sounding and just attribute it to fake initials.
Tapping into social proof, even if the proof is,
Yeah.
well, not proof at all. AI makes that easy now, I guess.
Disturbingly easy, perhaps. Then there's the conference speaker flex.
Okay, how does that work?
You claim you moderated a panel at some tiny meetup that maybe nobody attended.
It's not small.
Then escalate. Maybe you keynoted at TechCrunch Disrupt, the regional satellite event.
Ah, the qualifier. Regional satellite.
Yeah.
Again, leveraging things that are hard to verify, creating that aura of industry recognition.
Precisely. And we had another listener hack related to proof, didn't we?
Oh yeah, the offer letter one. Someone apparently edited an old offer letter
How?
using Inspect Element in their browser, to change the text on the page.
Yeah.
Then printed that edited version to a PDF
Okay, and then
and then sent it to background checkers.
did it work?
They said the checkers verified it.
Wow, that's concerning. It really shows the potential gaps in some verification processes, doesn't it?
It really does, especially against seemingly official documents. Okay, finally, the guide has this listener challenge, like a game.
Yeah, the LinkedIn LRP bingo, LRP like live action role play. It's very meta.
So you mark off squares if certain things happen, like if recruiters ask.
Wait, what did your fake company actually do? Which is bound to happen if it's built on ambiguity.
Makes sense. Another square.
If you describe your role using zero concrete deliverables, like orchestrated paradigm shifts.
Ah, yes, the corporate speak bingo.
Yeah,
And what if a real former coworker messages you?
that's a square too. If they DM you saying, since when were you a director?
Huh. The risk of your real and fake worlds colliding.
Exactly. Other squares include humbly posting about lessons from my startup failure.
The failure that never happened.
The very same. And getting endorsed on LinkedIn for a skill you just invented.
Like what?
Like Web3 psychic analytics.
Okay, that's just brilliant. Web3 psychic analytics. I want that skill and the bonus square.
Getting invited to speak on a podcast as an industry insider.
Almost brings it full circle, doesn't it? Could happen right here.
It certainly highlights how these made-up narratives can actually start to take root, gain traction, and lead to real opportunities based on, well, nothing real.
So wrapping up this deep dive into this very unique document, we've seen some incredibly creative, maybe ethically dubious ways to build a career story around a company that basically vanished.
Or never really was.
Right. And these tactics, they really rely on ambiguity, don't they? And the fact that verifying stuff can be hard, plus our own tendency maybe to just accept stories that sound plausible.
Precisely. Which leads to a bigger question, I think. For you, the learner, listening to this, what does it all suggest about professional identity itself and the kind of evidence we usually trust?
Yeah, is that perception of success becoming more about the narrative you can craft, the story you can control?
It definitely gives us something to think about, the stories we tell professionally, the weight we give to different kinds of proof, especially when information or misinformation is so easy to create and spread.
What kind of future does that point towards in terms of trust, evaluating competence? Lots to chew on there.